Hello friends, hope everyone is doing great. So today we are going to talk about the next topic of geometry, which is formulas of quadrilateral. So in previous lecture we have seen different types of quadrilateral, right? Like starting from rectangle, then square, parallelogram, rhombus and trapezium. So in this lecture we are going to talk about the main formulas of this 5 quadrilaterals which we have seen, area and perimeter. So let's start with rectangle. I'll just draw a rectangle for reference here. So what are the properties of rectangle? All of the 4 angles of rectangle are 90 degrees, correct? So how we can compute the area of rectangle? It is length into breadth. So what is length? Length is the longer side of rectangle, I've just noted L, and breadth is the shorter side of rectangle. So I can compute the area by using this formula, length into breadth. So L into B is my area. So how can I compute perimeter? So what is perimeter? Perimeter is summation of all the 4 sides of quadrilateral, correct? So I know in the rectangle, the opposite sides are parallel and are equal, correct? So this 2 sides should be equal. So the perimeter would be L plus L and B plus B, correct? So I can simplify that to define the perimeter as 2 into L plus B, which is length plus breadth into 2. Now we'll move to the square. What are the properties of square? Square has all the angles as 90 degrees. And all the sides are equal, correct? So I'll just draw a square and the one of the sides I'll just put it as A, correct? So how we can define the area of square? Area of square is side square, which is A square. Alternatively, we can define the area of square in terms of diagonals. So I'll just draw a diagonal here, diagonal D. So I can compute the area of square in terms of diagonal by this formula, D square by 2. And we know the square has same diagonals, right? So we can just simply put the value of diagonal to compute the area of square. Perimeter, as we know, all the 4 sides of square are equal. So perimeter would be 4 into sides, which is 4A. Now we'll move to the parallelogram. Parallelogram has the property that opposite sides of parallelogram are equal and parallel, correct? So how we can compute the area of parallelogram? It is L into H, which is length into height. So I'll just consider one base with length L. And from opposite vertex, if I draw a perpendicular to this base, I'll put that as a height. So the area of this parallelogram would be L into H, which is length into height. And we know the opposite sides are parallel and they are equal. So perimeter, how we can compute it? It's summation of all the 4 sides, which is 2 plus L into B, similar to rectangle. Now we move to rhombus. Rhombus has a property that all the 4 sides of rhombus are equal. I'll just put the side length as A. So how we can compute the area of rhombus? Rhombus area is 1 by 2 into D1 into D2. D1 into D2, what are D1 and D2? D1 and D2 are the diagonals of this rhombus. This is D1, this is D2. So if I multiply the diagonals into 1 by 2, I'll get the area of rhombus. Now there is one note point here. The rhombus and square, both of their diagonals, they intersect each other and they bisect each other perpendicularly. But the major difference here is the diagonals of square are same, while on other side, the rhombus has different lengths of diagonals. So that's why we have D1 and D2 different lengths. And if you multiply that with 1 by 2, we'll get the area. And as we know, rhombus has all the sides equal. So I can just compute the perimeter by multiplying it by 4, the side by 4, which is 4A. Now trapezium, we'll move to trapezium. Trapezium has only one set of sides as a parallel, correct? So I'll just draw trapezium here, A, B, C, D. So how we can compute area of trapezium? So we'll just consider here 2 parallel sides, AB and CD. If I sum it the length of 2 parallel sides and if I multiply that with height, height is the vertex from opposite side vertex. If I draw parallel, it is my height. So if I multiply this height by summation of this parallel sides, I'll get the area. And for trapezium, we don't have any side equal. That's why the perimeter only can be computed by summing all the sides of trapezium. Now we have seen the different formulas for different quadrilaterals of area and perimeter. Now we will look at some of the questions.